Winterton Beach in Norfolk today was shocked to see a minibus stuck in the sand. The vehicle was abandoned after a police chase last night. It was being followed as part of an ongoing operation into the supply of illegal drugs. A rescue tractor came to tow the minibus away in the early hours of this morning, but by then it had been engulfed by the tide and couldn't move. Curious onlookers watched a later rescue attempt. Again, the tractor was foiled by the conditions. However, the minibus was eventually pulled to safety using a winch.
The sand is so soft that the machines just couldn't pull it up, so we had to winch it all the way, and that's a long way out there. I don't know how many yards out it is. How the heck they got it there, I don't know. That must have been easier than us getting it off.
Well, it's coming up to 11 minutes past 6. Still to come tonight, we look ahead to the weekend. More news now from Norfolk, Suffolk and Essex. And new research into binge drinking shows that here in the East, more than 2,000 youngsters are admitted to hospital every year as a result of drinking too much alcohol.
Today, a new government campaign featuring a young man from Essex is being launched in a bid to get those figures down. Rachel Mackley reports.
And that's when it hit him. The car.
It's a hard-hitting message, but that's its aim. This TV advert will be hitting our screens from today as part of a government campaign to highlight the growing problem of underage drinking. New research shows that across England, 500,000 children between 11 and 15 will have been drunk in the last month, with figures linking regular drinking to teenage pregnancy, unprotected sex, road accidents and poor exam results. Jack Rivers is a 17-year-old sixth form student from Headingham School in Essex who appears in one of the adverts. He believes parents need to talk to their children about alcohol at an early age.
It's a great idea to be able to get parents to start speaking to their kids at a much younger age, rather than leaving it to sort of 13, 14. To speak to them from the age of 8 to 10 gives them a much better chance of actually acknowledging the risks. From parties and things like that, we've had people that have ended up in hospital from nights out and broken limbs, all the way to sort of teenage pregnancies have occurred.
Despite previous campaigns like this, binge drinking among the under-20s remains a growing problem. In Norwich, nearly 70 young people a year are admitted to hospital with drinking-related problems.
When I started perhaps 10, 15 years ago, we used to see people, if they were men, they were coming in their 40s, and women were coming in their early 30s. Nowadays, we're seeing both sexes coming about 10 years earlier. So I'm seeing men presenting in sometimes their late 20s, but certainly in their early 30s, and women often coming in their mid-20s. The youngest person that died from alcohol-related problems in this hospital in the last 12 months was 24.
Campaigns to raise awareness about the problems of drinking are not new, but the government hopes that these hard-hitting adverts will encourage parents to talk to their children about the very real risks of excessive drinking. Rachel Mackley, Anglia News.
Shocking figures there. Now, the inquest has opened into the death of the Norfolk-born journalist killed in a bomb blast in Afghanistan last week. The coroner heard that Sunday Mirror defence correspondent Rupert Hamer, who started his career on the Eastern Daily Press, died from multiple injuries. His body was released for his funeral. A full inquest will be held later in the year.
A teenager has appeared in court charged in connection with a burglary at the home of a woman who died after being attacked in Southend. 88-year-old Rosina Waller was found dead at her home on Johnston Road on New Year's Day. A man's been charged with her murder. Her home was later burgled. 3 other boys, aged between 12 and 17, have been released on bail.
Let's have a look at some of the weekend sport now, and one of the most eagerly awaited matches in the region takes place tomorrow afternoon.
Colchester and Norwich fans won't need reminding about what happened in their first game back in August. Little did we know then that Colchester's 7-1 win would lead to friction between the two clubs. Donovan Blake reports.
What's normally regarded as a friendly derby has developed quite an edge in recent weeks. Colchester restricting Norwich's allocation of tickets to 1,900 and doing their level best to keep City fans away from home areas at the Western Homes Community Stadium, a move described by some Norwich fans as petty. And it all stems from the events which followed that amazing result for Colchester at Carrow Road on the opening day of the season. Paul Lambert's switch from Colchester to Norwich was the catalyst, and the U's hierarchy haven't let the matter rest. The circumstances behind his move to Carrow Road are now subject to a Football League disciplinary hearing. Nevertheless, Lambert's expecting a hostile reception from U's fans.
Yeah, it's part of the game. But it's not about me, so it's about the players. That's the ones that really matter to me. And yeah, I know what's roughly going to happen, but that doesn't concern me one bit.
And with Hughes chairman Robbie Cowling stoking up the rivalry with his comments aimed at Norwich director Delia Smith this week, the whole issue has guaranteed a sellout at Colchester. Mind you, some Norwich fans don't believe the steps taken by Cowling to restrict their presence tomorrow are watertight.
I could have got tickets. I have relatives in Colchester. I could have got tickets through them with a Colchester postcode without any difficulty. And the relatives are football supporters and would have had no difficulty in getting the tickets.
Both clubs accept that 7-1 scoreline at Carrow Road was a freak result. Lambert and Adi Boothroyd would each take a 1-0 win tomorrow, with the U's looking for their first league double over Norwich in over 50 years. Donovan Blake, Anglia News.
Well, Colchester against Norwich. It is the headline fixture, while the League One rivals return to action after a 2-week break. Steve Tilson's Southend, they visit Huddersfield, but their last game was over the Christmas period. Peterborough haven't played since their exit from the FA Cup. They resumed their championship campaign against Derby. Meanwhile, Ipswich, who host Coventry, have dismissed reports linking them with the former Town star Kieran Dyer, with manager Roy Keane saying he's in no hurry to add to his squad.
We're waiting on feedback from certain clubs, and until that changes, we just get on with the squad we've got, which I feel is a good squad anyway. And obviously we've got Stern for another month, we've got young Jack Colbeck, so Liam's on loan. So, no, I'm fairly comfortable with the squad we have.
Now then, from humble beginnings to its current standing as one of the world's leading universities, Cambridge has been a centre for learning for 800 years.
Over the last 12 months, it's been marking those 8 centuries, and tonight those celebrations culminate with a spectacular light display in the heart of the city, and Emma Baker is there for us tonight. Emma, it looks rather lovely behind you.
It does indeed, Becky. Yes, welcome to King's College Chapel, as you've never seen it before. Tonight is the dress rehearsal for the grand finale of the end of the 800th anniversary of Cambridge University. Now, if I show you our second camera shot, you really do get an idea of just how spectacular all the buildings are looking. The light display is going to be going on tomorrow evening, Sunday evening, and also Monday evening. It's very much got a theme of looking forward to the future, but of course it will indeed be marking the end of a very special year. It spent the last 12 months celebrating the past. Now Cambridge University is looking to the future. The Centre for Academic Excellence has spent 800 years shaping the way we live. From Isaac Newton's discovery of gravity to Charles Darwin's theory of evolution. From Crick and Watson's discovery of DNA to Stephen Hawking's pioneering work on space. 12 months after the start of the 800th anniversary, and it's working as hard as ever to continue in this tradition. Irina Miguel Aliaga is one of the many world-leading researchers. As a zoologist, she's studying tiny fruit flies to help her team find out more about the human nervous system, which in turn should help bring about important medical advances.
By trying to understand how the nervous system regulates all these internal organs, one would hope that we would understand what goes wrong in medical conditions such as irritable bowel syndrome, diabetes. We would hope that eventually we would identify genes and mechanisms that are relevant to those disorders. Every year, amazing discoveries. I mean, we're all contributing a little bit to something big.
Another one of those contributors is Bill O'Neill. He's working on state-of-the-art laser technology, which will eventually be put to a range of uses from medical surgery to the manufacturing of cars.
Lasers now touch our lives every day, whether it's barcode scanning, laser marking, patterning of keyboards, eye surgery. What we're trying to do here is develop laser-based systems, develop laser manufacturing technology so that they will impact our lives even more. So you might even have lasers sold in DIY stores. You might have lasers in the home for marking and craft work and scribing and doing all sorts of things. We have a laser printer. Just think what we could have in 20 years' time.
Bill and Irina are just 2 examples of researchers working towards the advances of tomorrow. Cambridge University may boast 800 years of history, but it's determined to lead the way in the future.
So then, Emma, how long are these celebrations going to go on for then? I presume not another 800 years, although it would be rather lovely.
Good guess, Jonathan. No, it's not another 800 years. It's going to be going on tomorrow evening, Sunday evening and Monday evening as well, so plenty of chance to get down here. The best thing is it's free. Well, I'm joined now by Professor Jeremy Sanders, who's been involved in all the celebrations over the last year, I should say, not the last 800 years. Professor Sanders, it really has been a very special time, hasn't it, for the university?
It's been a wonderful year. It's been a great opportunity to show the world how Cambridge has been transforming tomorrow through the ideas that we've been producing for hundreds of years.
And the theme is also looking at tomorrow. The theme is future, isn't it, for the next 3 days of the light show?
So the light show for the next 3 days is about the research we're doing now, the science, the art, the music, and how that will influence and transform the world in the future.
And you can see that on some of the light displays there on the buildings. Finally, just briefly, are you looking forward to the end of the celebrations?
I'm looking forward to being 801, yes.
Excellent. Thank you very much indeed, Professor Sanders. Well, I have to say, the atmosphere here really is very beautiful indeed. And it's not just these buildings, it's also a few other buildings in